A psychologically tortured genius, a misunderstood monster, hunted by the world for its sheer existence. A system of personalities all fighting in the mind of a traumatized scientist. All of these descriptions fit Bruce Banner, my personal favorite Marvel character, and with the current Hulk run by Al Ewing ending soon, which by the way I have already made a video about, I think it is time to take a closer look at what makes Banner and Hulk such a tragic and sad duo. In today's video I'm going to dissect and recommend some of my favorite Hulk stories that I think need to be read by Marvel and comic fans alike, and that capture the tortured soul of Bruce Banner and his dramatic relationship with himself. Just to be clear though, I won't discuss the big dramatic moments and plot points of the Hulk's history in this video, so they won't get spoiled for readers, and will focus on smaller stories and overall arcs that were featured in the last decades. But before I start the video, I would be thrilled if you gave it a thumbs up, left a comment and subscribe to my channel. And now on to the video. Let's start with Hulk Grey, written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale. Now, before I start this part of the video, I want to specifically call out Jeff Loeb, because I do not want to seem supportive of him as a person and character, since he has been a pretty big douchebag in the past, especially in regards to his involvement with the Daredevil TV series. So this is only going to tackle his work on Hulk Grey. Hulk Grey is a perfect jumping point for every reader interested in the Hulk mythos, running at only 6 issues from 2003 to 2004, and following Bruce Banner and the Hulk's early days, his first transformations, and sheds a light on the tragic but also beautiful relationship between Bruce Banner and Betty Ross. The comic feels like a modern Greek myth, a tragic tale about the beginnings of a romance that will end in tragedy and sadness. There's also a very interesting twist or thought at the end of the limited series that made me see the romance between Bruce and Betty in a whole other light. I won't spoil it here, but it is a quite remarkable idea and I wish it was more explored in other Hulk comics. Banner is also a fantastic limited series created by Richard Corbin and Brian Azzarello that was released in 2001 with 4 comic issues. As a part of the Startling Stories imprint of Marvel that focused on more mature angles and themes, it's a deep and traumatic slice of life of Banner's daily haunting experiences as a ticking time bomb. Since this is more of a what-if story, the creators had free range to explore a nasty Elseworld scenario in which Leonard Samson aka Doc Samson and General Ross serve as the primary antagonists to a Bruce Banner who has seemingly lost all hope, all his will to live, and simply wants to die. The cynical views of the antagonists Doc Samson and Ross, combined with Banner's suicidal thoughts, are contrasted with an almost cartoony art style that also displays the terrifying aftermath of a Hulk rampage. Banner is an amazing limited series that not only dissects its title and main character but also criticizes the American military and government and the cynical nature of people in power in regards to citizens and our society. Next up, I want to talk about different storylines in the Pulp Jenkins run of The Incredible Hulk. I have already talked about this run in one video, so I want to make this as brief as possible. Paul Jenkins had, in my opinion, the most melancholic stories when it came to the Hulk in that era. In his run, he tackled 3 different sad situations in the life of Bruce and Hulk, starting with his confrontation with the Abomination and his journey for revenge for what he had previously done to Bruce. It is a somber take on revenge and also highlights the vulnerable side of the antagonist Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination. It also features one of the best Hulk fight scenes I have ever seen and an ending that is both satisfying but also deeply disturbing and lets you question Bruce and maybe even your own morality. Next up, we find Bruce in a perfect world where he is happily married with Betty Ross and lives with her and his children and a dog in a beautiful home. There's no sight of a Hulk and his life seems perfect. But the term that I'm using is seems. It is pretty obvious from the start that something is fishy here, and the conclusion of this story arc is very touching and also an interesting origin for some of the themes and ideas we see in the current Al Ewing Hulk run. Lastly, let's talk about Bruce Banner's fight with ALS. In Paul Jenkins' run, there is this constant, slowly creeping threat in the background of Banner's disease, but the conclusion of this physical struggle is also very touching and dramatic. It is a struggle of a man that has taken in a lot of pain and now loses all his control in life, overrun by a disease threatening to kill him for good. The pain and struggling and inhumane situation that Bruce finds himself in here is heartbreaking and made me choke a few times when I first read it. The ending in itself is a little bit of a cop-out, but the way Jenkins throws in a big revelation here is another piece of the ongoing puzzle of family drama in Banner's life. Another Hulk run that I have talked about is Bruce Jones' run on The Incredible Hulk. In this run, there's one comic issue, issue 35, that was part of a Marvel event, or shall I say more of a theme called Nuff Said, occurring in Marvel titles in 2002. In this event, writers were challenged to tell their stories without words and just visual storytelling, like silent movies. This issue of The Incredible Hulk is not as dramatic or melancholic as other examples on this list, but I find it to be fascinating and bittersweet, while also having a ton of atmosphere and pathos. In this issue, we see Banner walking into a diner and making eye contact with an autistic girl, trying to communicate with her by waving hello, but she seemingly ignores him. Then we get our first glimpse of the secret agency home base, infiltrating the diner looking for Banner, and we watch our hero try to escape only to Hulk out. This isn't a spoiler, but the ending of the issue sees Banner returning to the diner after all the chaos he has caused and meeting the little girl again, who now smiles at him, acknowledging that she noticed him earlier and that she also shared a brief moment of connection with Bruce. The storytelling here is so subtle, so quiet and fascinating and unusual for a Hulk comic that I feel like I have the images of this issue burned into my head due to its sheer inspiring quality and tone. Definitely check this one out. It is a gem and deserves more recognition. Lastly, let us talk about the real big one, the tearjerker. The story all Hulk fans know and love. Hulk: The End. Released in 2002 and written by Peter David. When a nuclear holocaust destroys all life on Earth, only Hulk survives, and due to the Hulk's strength and super healing abilities, Bruce Banner wanders the Earth for decades in solitude, only to be attacked by the last surviving species on Earth, insects that devour him until he regenerates again and again, mirroring the Greek myth of Prometheus. Well, where do I even start with this comic? This tale of the last remaining days of Bruce Banner and the Hulk is a haunting story about loneliness and the sheer pain and suffering that comes with that. The Hulk is depicted as the antagonist to Banner in this comic, since he seemingly likes this new status quo of solitude, while Banner just wants to die and transcend to the afterlife and all the people he loved. It is an internal battle of the two minds, interspliced with the inner monologue and retrospective of Bruce and his views on humanity, the war, and his ultimate destiny. Hulk the End is accessible to all comic readers, since it is not tied to the overarching canon of Marvel Comics and encompasses the dramatic nature of the Green Goliath and his relationship with his alter ego Bruce Banner. Not only is the comic book dramatic, it is also depressing, emotionally touching, and in my opinion one of Marvel's best comics to date, since it raises big questions about our humanity but also combines them with an entertaining storyline and a big emotional payoff at the end. What are your thoughts on the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and what is your favorite comic that deals with the tragic side of this character? Let me know in the comments below, and always remember, you wouldn't like me when I'm sad. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos. Until next time, stay pulpy and stay artsy. See ya!